So we all good with the mics?
All good.
We're all in. We're sound.
Perfect.
All right, sweet man. Cool. All right, man. We'll get into it then. Obviously, we've chatted a lot before we've recorded, but we'll start with it. But first of all, thanks for coming to do it with me.
Nah, no
I
worries.
appreciate it. I know I messaged you about it. I couldn't believe how long ago it was. Like October. Or
It was a
something,
while
like
ago.
that.
I
Jesus
thought you'd
Christ,
forgotten about me.
Yeah, I know, mate. Mate, life, man. It was a fucking mad few months in that time period, actually. But now, obviously, messaged you a little bit ago in October to do this. Obviously, I did a little bit of coaching with you. When I first came back over, and I like the setup and stuff like that. I could see where it was going.
Yeah.
I thought that we'll get into it. Obviously, you have Technical Edge, which is your own business. You're coaching the Mussie men's team now as well. But just wanted to start because I like to know the whys. Like where did like footy start with you? Like did you play a lot?
I played when I was younger. It was like probably the same as every other kid. Like mad keen on it when I was younger.
Yeah.
Never wore normal clothes, just wore football strips, kicking
yeah.
about Livingston every day. And was always decent. My dad, to be fair, I look at it now and obviously like the amount of kids that we have, like my dad was one of those dads that used to take me all the time.
Yeah.
1-to-ones probably wasn't a big thing then. But certainly I used to go cover as a kid. Every camp, team stuff and all that was always there. But just couldn't move, just so slow.
Yeah.
But a good player, good 5-a-side player,
Yeah.
good footballer, but no, never going to probably get the dream of what you want as a 9-10-year-old that's going to play for Hibs.
Yeah.
And then just honestly just fell into the coaching. It was never one that I thought I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I was left school at 17 probably.
Right.
I thought, right, what am I going to do? And my dad went, well, he's like, you're not going to do an office job.
Yeah.
He's like, that's no you. He's like, why don't you try coaching? I was probably like, well, I thought I could give it a try, but I thought, I don't know if I'd be any good at it. And then it was actually through my uncle, my wee cousins went to Corva.
Okay, yeah.
So they were getting coached by Joe Jones, who was my former coach when I first started.
Right.
Joe doesn't own it, but he very much runs it.
Yeah.
Very, very good at what he does. Really good. And Jane just started helping out with him. Still remember it was like a Tuesday night, picked me up and just helped out. He's called our Colts under 12s or something it'll be.
Cool.
And just started gradually helping out and I just started really enjoying it.
Yeah.
They were good to me, treated me really well to begin with. And then as soon as you start getting paid for it at 17, I think it was like a $7.50 an hour I think it was to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. Just started helping, done camps and that as well. I remember, I think, Christmas time were probably the first camps I'd done, and then I really, really got into it, loved it. They gave me a good sort of base of like what to do. Like, a lot of stuff that I do now with my coaches is similar to what he taught me, like no phones at all. Like, if the session starts at 5, you're there at 4:30.
Yeah.
All the sort of fundamental, look the part, no coming in with a cover jumper and just any jogging bottoms, any of that rubbish. Like, look the part, do things properly. And I really, really learned a lot from them, and then ended up I actually took a job at Hibs Community.
Oh, okay, cool.
Purely because I wanted to get into Hibs supporter, wanted to get into the academy. There's a guy, Tom Elliott, and then eventually got into the academy through him because he was my boss of the community. Yeah. Kept saying, I want to get into the academy. Yeah, well, I'll speak to Eddie. And then it was just one day, just came through Eddie May. I went, I keep forgetting, but Eddie says you can come in and help out with the under 11s. It was 2005 age group was the first Hibs team I worked with. I remember it was the time when Hibs had just been relegated, I think.
Okay, yeah.
So it was a big turnover. So Stubbs was doing the manager at the time, and they weren't just using. They thought HDC was too far away, so they were at Spartans as well. They had to tie up with Spartans. And first night, I remember just going to Spartans, and that was me. And then done that for 2-3 years, just Hibs coach, and then done a bit of cover and that on the side.
Yeah, decent, man. No, and when you were talking there about like the standards and stuff, that's definitely one thing I picked up on when I came to do that with you. It's like get there early, look the part, obviously you like gave me the gear and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'd obviously been doing it for I'd been doing it for like 10 years at that point. So yeah, I was like, I noticed that little stuff where I was like, maybe other people don't notice that when they start, right? But it's like no phones, get there early, you've all got the gear on, like you're into it for the day. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? It's a solid base. So the Hibs stuff, and then like from there, where did the technical edge stuff come into?
It genuinely started with a kid dad in the 2005 by Leonard Park.
Okay.
Got to know his dad, and his dad basically does 1-to-ones with other with other people, and I just blagged it and said, no, I do 1-to-1s as well. Never done 1-to-1 in my life.
Yeah.
He said, no, we'll maybe get him booked in that. So I was like, that's fine. And then he said, no, he went, must have been Christmas time as well. He said, well, Hibs finish in 2 weeks, so we'll get a couple 1-to-1s in. So I was like, right. So I think I literally must have had about 100 quid in my bank. I thought, right, bought these terrible 12 Nike footballs.
Aye, as you do.
Like, I don't even think they were round, they were terrible.
Yeah.
Cones. And then I just done my 1-to-1 with him, just blagged it. Remember getting there, like I say, couldn't drive at the time, so we'd done it at, actually done it at Stuart's Melville School, because I had no idea where to go.
Yeah.
And I'd done a bit with Stuart's Melville Corva, so I thought I'll just go on. If somebody comes and tells me to get off, I'll get off. So I'd done a couple of sessions there and loved it.
Yeah.
And just got a really good relationship with the parent, but also the kid. Could see him improving, had him at Hibs. And it just kind of just gradually happened from there. Maybe got another couple of Hibs players.
Decent.
And then I started done them at Broughton High School. So again, not a booking in sight.
Yeah.
Used to get the train from Pullman to Haymarket with a bag of balls, and then usually used to walk to it. I wouldn't get the bus. Used to walk to Broughton,
right?
Jump the fence on a Sunday, do a couple of sessions, and then film them, almost like what you're saying here, and then edit. I remember I used to get really good. I used to, by the time 25 minutes I think from Haymarket to Pullman, I used to try and get the edit done by then.
Oh, nice.
So I remember just all the time pulling into Pullman and just getting the hotspot and putting it on more on Instagram at the time. Just my personal one, just to try and promote it a bit. And then, so it genuinely was that. But at the time, the aim was not to go and start. It was no technical edge. It was just me.
Yeah.
Because I see myself being a Hibs coach, being under 11s, under 15s, all the way up to maybe like 18s and maybe reserves, and that was the dream.
That was the goal at the time.
That was the goal at the time. And then guy Pat McCluskey who I knew through Hibs. He was taking the younger ones, the pre-academy at Hibs, and he had a contact Musselburgh.
Yeah.
He just said, "Look, I think you're good at what you do. Do you want to maybe start something?" So I thought, "Aye, let's go for it." Started Technical Edge, and then just used to take, I think it was one Windsor team. It was the 2005s.
Okay.
The guy Jim Dixon and Stevie Budgers took that team, and then just kind of grew it from there.
Interesting.
But it was surreal how it happened. It was very much just used to do myself a bit of pocket money, to be fair.
Yeah.
I took a hit. Hibs, especially at that time. I think it's better now, but it's academy coach. It was not a well paid job, but I was 19, 20-year-old.
Yeah.
No, couldn't care less.
Yeah.
So I actually took a hit in wages going from Corva to Hibs, because I'm doing nothing all day and then going, I think I was maybe 5:30 start at Hibs, 5:30 till 7, that was me.
Yeah, decent.
That's all I would do. Took a big hit financially to do that, so I thought, right, if I get some 1-to-1s on the side and that'll help. And then even when that group, Pat actually done the right thing. He really done really well. He's a businessman, but a good coach as well.
Yeah.
And you could kind of just see that. I knew what I was doing. He's like, look, he went, I think his original idea was to sell his business, make a bit of money on it, and do Technical Edge with me on the side.
Oh, okay.
And that never really transpired, to be fair. And he's still got a higher line to this day.
Yeah.
And I remember he just turned around and went, look, you can just do it yourself. He went, I've helped you. I'm here if you need help. But he went, you know what you're doing. He's like, just go and run it, basically. He's like, you're fine by yourself. And then genuinely just gradually just get more Windsor teams.
Yeah.
Got the 2008s through a guy, Davy Steele, who's a close friend now. And they used to get them a couple of times a week. Took them from 7-a-side all the way to 11s.
Yeah.
And just genuinely just grew from there.
That's good, man. Do you think as well, when you're saying about that, we were talking about that earlier, about trying to get coaches in that in, obviously when you start it, like, it is, you've got to get into it in your young,
100%.
Yeah. And I think you've got to understand that you're not really getting money, like, you're not getting a full-time wage off of it at all, unless you start to try and do what obviously you've done with the Technical Edge stuff. But have you found that, like, when you're trying to get, like, the younger coaches in, like, do they want more money?
Actually,
or is it alright?
The ones I've got are good, but
Yeah.
you see a lot of similarities, I would say, between when I'm try to hire a coach and then try to sign a player for Musselburgh.
Yeah.
If one of the first conversations is, how much are you paying me? It usually is it's a red light straight away. You're going, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah.
Of course, it's different. People's situations are different, but I think the biggest thing that I probably learned and I'd pass over to other people is when you're young, don't make money decisions.
Yeah.
I think you get a lot of people that, if I was maybe 19 doing a couple of one-to-ones, people that maybe had a 9-to-5 job will look at it and go, you're earning no money, I'm on X amount a year.
Aye.
And you go, well, you maybe are, but you're in a job where that's maybe as far as you could go.
Yep.
It's very much about getting the experience. I remember I used to, again with Corva, couldn't drive, used to get picked up by Joe and used to be at George Watson's 5 till 6 every Thursday.
Oh, okay.
For a tenner.
Yeah.
And getting to George Watson's for 4:30 and you're travelling with the boss, so you want you to get there for 4.
Yeah.
I remember first time I'll pick you up at, I think it was like 3:15. I'm like, fucking 3:45.
Aye.
And I'm back in the house at 7:30.
You've earned a tenner.
Aye.
Yeah.
And if you said that to anybody else, you'd go, no chance would I do that. He's like, well, I wouldn't do that now, but at the time it was, you know, I got experience from it.
Yeah, you've got
you know
to.
what I mean? It's perfect.
Yeah.
And there's guys now like Aidan who works with us full time. When he first started, he was exactly the same. You know, before he could drive, he'd get the bus from Port Seaton to Pinkie, earn a tenner. But it's got to him a really, really good place now where as the business grows, his income's growing all the time and will continue to.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's no making money decisions at a young age. That if you're good at whatever you do, if it's same as a player, if you're good at what you do, you'll end up earning the money you should.
Yes, exactly.
Eventually as it grows.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the big thing about coaching is you've got to start young. You've got to get the experience of it and accept that like the money's not going to be
100%.
like what it is. But I think like you've got that wasn't certainly when I first started doing my coaching here. Like there wasn't any like technical edges of that at the time. There wasn't like the one-on-one stuff. So it was literally like kind of what you probably would have done. It was like go volunteer at a club for free. I did North Berwick, did that a couple of times a week with kids.
Yeah.
I used to get my sessions out the back of 442 and just like try shit like that. Do you know what I mean? But it was a good grounding. It was a good start. Like, it was no money, absolutely no money at all, man.
It's weird though because you actually look at and you almost like miss it a wee bit because along with Hibs I was doing Lothian Athletic 2003s.
Yes.
And I've now got players that work for me now that were part of that team. So I had them. They were just starting 11-a-side and it was a family friend, Stuart Turner. Really tight with my dad, just said, look, why doesn't he just come along and we'll just pay him to do a session once every couple of weeks. And I remember I'd done a session, I was like, this is brilliant, like it's different to cover, it's a team. I was like, you got a game on Sunday? I'm like, we're playing as this team at this time. So right, I'll come along. And then end up just doing that and then just got involved with them and done that for 2-3 years. And that was good because that was like team selection, kids, parents, team talks, planning sessions, how you're going to shape up, all that sort of stuff. That was like proper coaching. And that was me. That was a Saturday used to do Hibs games, Sunday used to do Leith games, and then done a few one-to-ones after.
Class.
And that was my life for maybe a couple of years. And a part of you almost does miss it because there was no overheads at all, nothing to worry about. It was just purely just results of the weekend.
That was it.
You know what I mean? It was just that, and it was just couldn't wait until a Saturday morning, Hibs and then Leith on the Sunday. It was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean, man. And I think I'm going to look back at when I first started it too, and then obviously mine's a little different. I went straight to America where you're getting paid and folk are paying for it. So all of a sudden there's now an expectation of like, I'm paying you. So like, but I find as well, like when you get into it too, how little of the, not that it doesn't matter, but how little like maybe so much like the session and stuff like that is it's about like learning how to deal with kids, like different types of kids, different ages. Then the parents, obviously, if it's a point where they're certainly paying for a service, then it's like how do you deal with certain parents and stuff like that. And I used to see like a lot of folk be like, you're a good coach, but you can't handle the other side of things like the parents or
100%.
deal with the kids. There's a balance there, eh?
It's adapting as well. We say it all the time when we do sort of in-service days as well, a lot that it's different sides to you. You know what I mean? So you need to be able to go and take a 2-3-year-old on a talk session and show that side of the coach. And then go take a one-to-one with a 15-year-old who's wanting to get full-time at Hibs. You know what I mean? Like, and you can't be the same coach.
No, you can't.
You need to be completely different. I remember I done it when we started the technical talks, the side business, the younger ones. I remember being at Leith Links on a Saturday morning with 2-3-year-olds, and then I had to go. And then I was at Edinburgh City games after with guys that have played Premier League. You know what I mean? And it's like completely different two completely different coaches.
Yeah.
But you need to show. I think you need to show that. You know what I mean? You'll see a lot of guys that are really, really good adult coaches, and will openly admit kind of work with the kids.
Yeah.
And you'll get guys that are the same the other way that are brilliant. That you'd love to take your 6-year-old, but then you wouldn't want them to teach them when they're maybe 15, 16 because it's different set of skills.
No, 100% it is, man. I totally agree with that as well. And it's good when you're starting as well to try and like bounce around and do as much of that different stuff as you can, and then you'll find out what one you're good at and
100%.
where you fit
It's just genuine is just hours, eh?
Yeah.
Same as then. The more hours you do it, the better you are. I remember thinking, by the time I was maybe 22, young coach, but I'm like, well, I've been doing it full time for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there is something in that.
Yeah.
So even as a manager, I've been a manager for what, a year and a half now, at 28.
Yeah.
So, you know, by the time I'm 40, I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And that's maybe a time when you maybe have somebody who's had a really good playing career. They might finish at late 30s, think, right, I'm going to do my badges.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 20 years on them.
Yeah.
But there's pros and cons at both.
Of course.
The guy who's maybe played at senior level, played at a really good level, has got different advantages and disadvantages to what I've got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of time you see, I think there was a quote from Gerard when he spoke about Michael Beale with that. He's like, Michael Beale's been on the grass for a lot longer than me.
Yes. Yeah.
But Gerard will have a different sort of skills to him with playing God knows how many Champions League and World Cup games.
Yeah. And then you've seen that as well. I mean, obviously Gerrard's went to Saudi. It didn't quite work out for him too well at Villa, but obviously Bale's tried to do his own thing and it's not coming across, right? Some people are good at being like assistants and some people are good at being like the main man.
100%. It's different. I think even like with my Musselburgh stuff, that people probably think that I'm like, because I do coaching, that I'm taking all the time. I don't do it. Honestly, people would be amazed at how little I coach. I've got like really, really good staff that do 80% of the coaching. We always run through before, and I would say that the drills and the practices we do are the same ones we do at Technical Age.
Of course, People
think that it's you can't do that with adults and kids. You can't. You just adapt it.
Exactly, mate. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You adapt it, but unless it's probably the tactical stuff on a Thursday, I'll always do. But apart from that, when you're taking the session, you don't actually see what's happening as much.
Yeah.
So I've got a really good assistant, Wayne Sprill, who does it in Aiden, who works with us at Technical Edge. He's came in the last year.
Oh, cool. I didn't know he was there as well.
He's a Musselburgh now. He's doing,
cool.
Very good. He was at Leith and didn't really work out from changeover of managers and whatnot. And the thing with Aiden is when he takes a session, you just know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So you can just leave him to it.
Yeah.
And the boys have responded really, really well to him.
Class, man. That's decent.
So we've got a good balance with it in terms of the group.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah. And like you say, for the Mussy stuff as well, it's like, I again, a little different, but like coached the high school. It was a girls' team in California, but I was obviously coaching the kids' teams, as my wage, did the high school stuff, but I was like an assistant coach at the high school. And it was cool because it was just a completely different role to coaching the kids. And same thing, my cousin did what you're saying about as well, was he would do stuff, but I'd kind of run the sessions with other people that we had throughout the years, and he would kind of step back and be the one to like watch the group, like work out who looks like they're not doing well or someone's struggling or whatever, having a chat, because it's completely different when you're dealing with older people, adults, right? Yeah.
No, definitely, and I think it's almost just find your way as a manager about, because people are different. You'll get ones that are maybe totally hands on that want to do everything. Yeah. Like I remember when I was at City, Guy Nacer used to speak about Moyes when he was at Everton.
Okay, cool.
And he said that Moyes done everything. So Moyes would literally do the warm up before the game.
Wow.
As a Premier League manager.
Wow.
And then you'll maybe get like a Sir Alex who will never do a coaching session.
Yeah.
And there's no right and wrong.
No.
You know what I mean? There's no. But I think if you're the manager and you're taking everything, I think sometimes your voice can get lost a wee bit.
100%.
You know what I mean? And the only way, I say it to my staff all the time, the only way I can do it is if the staff are well respected within the group, the boys work hard for them.
Yeah.
I'm not having to jump in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm there watching everything.
Yeah.
But they're the ones actually doing the session.
Yeah, 100%.
It does make a difference.
And then it makes the players you need the players at the end of the day. If you're not going to necessarily be running all the sessions, they need to respect the staff, right? And feel like the staff are obviously capable of like running the session and like listening to what they've got to say, and not you all the time.
No, definitely, because it's at the end of the day we're part time. You know what I mean? So things come up that even like it's so difficult. Like we done it last pre-season, like booking holidays and that. Yeah. It's no as fixed as a top level where you finish on that day, you start that day. Yeah. Like you're waiting on fixtures to come out. So I'm like, when do we finish? Well, it depends how you get on the NAT Cup, and depends how you do this and that. So I had to miss maybe, I think it was a week of pre-season.
Okay.
Staff just covered it, and there was not one issue.
Yeah, not a problem. That's
I mean, and we're lucky as well because we've got enough senior boys that they could run it themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably a big difference from when I came in. That I think people probably thought youth background and that, oh, you'll sign boys you maybe had from Hibs and pro youth boys and that. No done much of that.
No.
I mean, my first few signings, like, we've got experienced boys that played at a good level.
Yeah.
And you need that.
No, you do,
You
man.
100% need that.
Because you obviously did the assistant stuff at Edinburgh City. What was that like? Was that a good, obviously good exposure? Good. Yeah.
And I actually think that it's probably good because I know what you should be as an assistant. So I know now that knowing when to speak and when to not speak.
100%.
You know what I mean? And nobody's wanting the assistant like in the ear all the time. Knowing when to just go, right, I'll take a step back and think what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Not just saying something for the sake of going, right, I'm going to take a minute and think about things.
Yeah.
Knowing when to be, the managers maybe had to go, knowing when to maybe be a good cop with somebody. You know, things like that.
Yeah.
You learn a lot from it. And what two good people, like when I first went out, it was Guy Naismith, Stevie Crawford was number 2, and he was brilliant. And we just shared training.
Class.
Gary Naismith at the time didn't really coach.
Yeah.
He wanted to very much take, probably was similar to what I am now, take a step back and see things, and just left me and Stevie to do the coaching.
How'd you get into the Edinburgh City thing? It was just through folk you knew?
It was through Billy Brown.
Okay.
The old Hearts assistant.
Yeah.
So he takes his grandson's team at Musselburgh now.
Okay, cool.
So I know Billy well, and I literally just phoned it. I was between things, left because I was assistant at Musselburgh, I left, didn't work out for different reasons.
Yeah.
And then I remember just phoning and said, look, can I go in, and I know you know Gary Naismith because you gave him his debut wherever at Hearts. Can I just go in and assist and just basically watch? And that genuinely was my plan to give me hear about it all the time. People are out of work. I was like, this is horrible. So I thought I can maybe go and watch a wee bit of Edinburgh City. I maybe got another contact and maybe Hibs. I can maybe go back and watch a wee bit of this, watch a wee bit of that. Because I had chances to go and jump in with other jobs that I was maybe close to doing that wouldn't have been the right move.
Aye.
I ended up getting something really, really good. And
good.
I always probably thought in the back of my mind, if I go in somewhere like Edinburgh City and the manager goes, nah, he's actually decent, you've maybe got a chance of getting something.
Yeah.
So it was unpaid, so done it for a couple of weeks. I remember, I think it was session 2. The gaffer Gary just basically went, do you want to take a possession drill? So I was like, aye, perfect.
Yeah.
I actually thought at the time, right, this is my chance to show them more.
Yeah.
And it was good. And the boy, I say all the time, it was actually the players that probably got me that job because the players responded quite well to it, or really well to it, and they were good with me. And that was brilliant.
Did you have Ben Sterling? Was he there?
I had Ben,
Yeah.
So Ben came in. Ben came in the January. Signed a few good boys in the January. And Ben was one of them.
Yeah.
Ben actually got a bad injury at the end of the season.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It was a weird game. It was Alan Mabry at the time. He rested quite a good few, and Ben was the one that never got rested and got a bad injury.
Shame, I know.
Never played in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But a good player.
And you just went up that season, eh?
We went up. It was crazy.
Is that League 2-1?
2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
Scraped the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, scraped the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you see it from inside, and you're always biased because Gary gave him a chance, but so unlucky with just the amount of injuries he had was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just injury after injury. He had Callum Crane and Robbie McIntyre, was his whole left side both injured. Lost his job out of the blue because we were actually doing quite well at the time.
Yeah.
Alan Mabry came in, and Craney and Rab managed to get himself fit, and he played a back 3. Craney played left wing back, Rab played left centre half. So he got this whole left hand side.
Yeah.
But Alan came in and done really, really well. Got a tune out the boys.
Decent.
And I managed to get promoted. It was surreal.
Yeah, that's a cool experience.
That was unbelievable. That was one of the best.
Did that give you like the buzz to then be like, right? Is that kind of what gave you the buzz to then be like, right? Okay, I'm gonna try go do starting a moan and getting.
It's weird. It was similar to like what I say about before. Like, I'm going to be a Hibs coach and do technical edge on the side.
Yeah.
My plan was very much just I want to be, kind of go and try and get full time.
Okay.
Because we're doing well in League One. I thought if I'll maybe get some move to say Falkirk, played there, coach there. I thought Kelso's number 2. I'm first team coach. He might take me.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And I thought, imagine I get full time, then have technical edge on the side. That's the way to do it. And then it was actually a Trinent job came available.
All right.
And I never went for it. They never asked me to, fair. But a lot of people are going, oh, would you take it? Would you take it? And I was going, well, I thought, I don't know if I'd want to be a manager. And then I actually remember thinking, well, I remember I said to Kerr, who I went,
Yeah.
I'll not take a Trinent job, but I went, I think if the Musselburgh job ever came available, I think it'd be a hard one to turn down. Good relationship with the club, the people around it. Even though I'm not from Musselburgh, our business has been in Musselburgh for the last 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
Affiliation to the club. I thought that would be a hard one to turn down. And literally that job came available about 6 weeks later.
Oh, mad.
The previous managers probably under pressure a wee bit.
Okay.
Results weren't that great. And I still remember we played Queen of South, Edinburgh City. Driving back, we had a few of the players in the car because we had to get back for something. Ran the bus. And they were talking about the scores. And I remember saying to Dennis, man, what was the Musselburgh score? And he went, oh, they got beat off Nitton in the Scottish Cup. And I thought, well, that's a bad one. I thought Joe might struggle to keep his job after that.
Yeah.
And I literally got a phone call. It was actually the next day.
Wow.
I was actually driving to Gillen.
Oh, were you to do some of the camp stuff? Yeah.
We were driving to Gillen. We had to watch games, and the number came up, and I thought, I think I know what this will be about.
Yeah.
Got offered it, and then I took it pretty quick, to be fair.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I took it pretty quick because I'd already, as soon as that phone call, I phoned Wayne Sprout, who's my assistant, and said, look, I've been offered this. Do you fancy it? And he sounded quite keen. I thought, he's quite keen. He's like, look, let me think about it. I'll phone you back. I think he phoned me back an hour later. I went, I'll do that.
Class.
He was playing at Leith at the time.
Right.
So I had him at Leith. He was my captain.
Okay.
And we slagged him for it. He wasn't doing very well.
Right.
He was struggling. So he hung, I think I saved him. He hung the boots up.
Okay. Yeah, he's done.
And came in with my assistant, and it just happened so quick.
Class, man. That's cool. That's cool, mate. And then, so, yeah, I remember hearing, obviously I knew you were doing the Edinburgh City stuff, and then I remember hearing that you got the Mussy job. I actually think I came and watched was the first game against Haddington?
The first game, so the Haddington one, I wasn't in charge.
Yes.
So it wasn't official by then, because that was actually there was a wee sort of time in between where I had to be fair in Edinburgh City as well.
Okay.
Failing at Almabra, I'm like, look, I've been offered this, but I'm not going to. I think we had 2 games. I think we actually played Queen of South twice.
Okay.
Played them in the league and then played them in the cup during the week. Said, look, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to leave you in the shit, basically. I don't think that's right. But I've been offered this. I'm certainly thinking about it. And then I wasn't in charge of Haddington because the way it worked was they asked me to look, I'm not going to take a game if I've not had the chance to train them.
True. And
then Musselburgh trained a Thursday, but I think we had a Thursday night game. So I was like, look, if I'm not training, I'm not doing it. I was actually in Newcastle with my missus, it was my birthday weekend.
Right, okay.
So I wasn't at the game, wasn't in charge of it, but when I went and watched, Matty King took it with Jackie Miles, they were both injured at the time, 2 senior players. And I still remember even on the train back, she would have been going off her head. Must have been on the phone to Wayne for an hour and a half. Like, what was the game like? Who was good? Who was bad? What went in?
Yeah.
And then took the Monday training session, and then we played Lothian on a Wednesday night.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Won. What did we win? It was 3-0, I think.
Okay. Cool.
3-0 home.
Yeah. And
that was the first game, and then we actually had a really, really good start. We won the first 4 or 5 games, and everything was. It was good.
I mean, the results have been decent, man. Like, it's definitely. I mean, what we were saying. You sent third. Sorry, did we say?
I think it's third. It's a wee bit. Brock's in a minute of running. They're running away. But you need to be fair to them. They're doing. The results have been very, very good.
Yeah.
We've been unlucky in a couple of games against them, but we're aiming for second now, and I think we're third or fourth, but the games are a wee bit different. Lothian are second, but they've got a few games in hand.
Right.
So second's the aim. If we can finish second, we've done well. Took over in 10th, finished third last year. We had a difficult first half of the season, injuries and whatnot.
Yeah.
Managed to get a few good players in as well. So the aim's now to finish second.
How many signings have you made since you've been there? I mean, obviously,
I've made a few.
Made a few, yeah.
I made a few. I made a good few, to be honest.
Yeah, to just try and change it up. That's good.
The club have been good with that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and like I said before, that we managed to get really good, like, senior boys in. We got, as I say, when I got offered the job, took the job, I don't even think I was officially in it yet, and I was on the phone trying to get Nathan Evans back.
Right,
yeah. Spoke about before.
Yeah.
Had Nathan before. I thought, like, they're doing well, but they're struggling for goals. They need, like, Nathan's guaranteed goals at this level.
Definitely is. Yeah.
Got Nathan in, and he was the same. I think by the time the deal went through, Nathan hadn't trained, I don't think. So he was on the bench against Lothian.
Right.
And then we done really well. So he was on the bench against Oakley, came on, scored a couple of goals, and we started him the week after. I think it was. But we've signed a good few. It's probably been a big change.
Big turnover.
But I think the club, without speaking bad to MD at all, I think the club probably needed that as well.
Okay, yeah.
And you're only as good as your signings. That is literally 80-90% is just how, especially that, if you only get twice a week.
Aye, exactly.
So it doesn't matter how good tactically you are. You're better being tactically poor with the best players because they'll make you look good.
Yeah, I agree with that, mate.
So we've signed good players and we've signed good types as well. A few experienced boys have done well.
And then, like, see, this is what I was intrigued about. See, like, most of the other coaches that you come up against, are they all quite older?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
will you be the youngest by a mile?
I will be.
Yeah. Were you 20?
28.
28, right.
So
yeah.
I would have been. I think it was on my 27th birthday I officially took the job.
Okay.
So I accepted it when I was 26.
Yeah. Okay, shit, alright.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy, but it's never bothered me that, the whole age thing. Because
No, not at all.
Nah. And I think, to be honest, I think a lot of people probably do look and go, young boy, who's this? Like, boys that maybe played at whatever level for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I think, who's this young boy? And coming up thinking, do this or that. And it's not a case at all. Everybody just wants to do well for themselves. And, you know what I mean? That's all it is.
I actually think it's for me personally, I think when I heard that you were doing it, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, I think it's the opposite. 'Cause I think it's actually like a bit of an early first move from Musselburgh to like, because and you know you can agree or disagree with me, but I think now like there's more room and more space for people to do like their own coaching stuff now. Like they could start up stuff like you have. Obviously you've gotten there early and you've done it first, but there's more room for younger people to like kind of build themselves up a little bit. And I actually think Mussy doing that with you early is a clever move because you'll watch football, you'll know how football's played now, and I'm obviously not saying that like you're able to get a Mussy team playing like Liverpool or City, but in terms of like how modern day football is, and obviously I'm sure all those boys that play still watch it as well, whether it's the SPL or it's the Prem. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely changed. I mean, I think that if this was 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't like I wouldn't get this job.
Nah,
I wouldn't have got the side job.
No way.
In terms of first team coach, they had no chance.
No way. Nah.
Somebody, an ex-pro who's been doing it for a number of years would get that.
Yep.
But I think if you go in with a playing career, I think that gets you so long. But boys aren't bothered. You know what I mean? Like boys want good sessions. Most importantly, they want to be spoken to and treated properly.
Yep.
Because whenever you ask people like, what was so and so like as a manager, they'll always say what he was like as a person first. Good 100%. Guy, bad guy, before they go, oh, he tactically was brilliant, but he was a bit addicted.
Aye.
Go, nah, he's a good guy. Like some things I didn't agree with, but he always spoke to me, always tried to do things the right way. He didn't try and embarrass me in team talks or belittle me, anything like that.
Yeah.
He treated me properly. That's the most important thing.
Agreed.
And then I think if your training's good, I think that is a massive thing.
Yeah, man.
At this level, because boys are turn up twice a week to get a sweat on, to work hard, no running around the pitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, if they can come in, it's good standard training.
Yeah.
Like a lot of time that's a selling point to get boys. And we punched above our weight with some of the signings. Like I would say the ones where it probably changed, we signed 2 lads from Bonnyrigg, Bob Wilson the centre half, and George Hunter striker. George has been unlucky with injuries, to be fair, but he's a good player.
Is he like the big boy?
Is
he quite like a big lad? Yeah,
he needs to get smaller if he's listening.
Yeah.
Gio's got a hell of a lot of ability, but those are the first 2 signings that people thought, like, wow, like these guys have dropped 2 levels to play for Musselburgh.
Yeah.
And then I think we got signings off the back of that, where people go, like, they'll do all right. Yeah, I mean, they've signed him and him, they'll do quite well.
Yeah.
And then you get more signings off the back of that. And you look at probably different things, you go, it's very difficult to do it all in the winter and go and get all these players in.
Aye.
But the club allowed me to do that. And then we didn't sign that many of the pre-season. It wasn't a case like 10 new boys coming in. So I don't think that works. Nah,
it doesn't. No, you can't change it up too much, man. But
so it's been gradual, because obviously at this level it's no transfer window.
Aye.
We can sign boys whenever we want.
Yeah.
We've gradually been able to sort of add to the squad.
And I mean, I kind of know it, but obviously, would you pay? Obviously, you got to pay the clubs for the players.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I need to pay.
Oh, right, shit, man. So so the clubs obviously, so you've got that. How much you don't have to tell me how much like a specific person goes for, but like what's like the rough amount of money folk go for at that level, like give or take.
And in between, it's mental to us. We've bid for players or we've inquired at people, and they've said numbers. You're just like, there's absolutely no hope in hell I'm doing that. Like we inquired with a young lad from another team, and they quoted me $2,000.
Okay, is that a lot?
Which a decent amount for that, and I went, look, I'm not paying that. I can disclose this. I got Bob Wilson for that.
Yeah.
So I've got somebody who's played in the Championship full time at Hibs. I'm not going to pay that for a young lad who's maybe no proven, who's got a bit of ability. So the thing probably our level is because no many people sign like 2, 3, 4 year deals like they do at SPL.
Aye.
So you probably get to sort of January times when when you're allowed to speak to people. Most people are just 1 year deals. So you're saying, look, well, like next year can we get you?
Yeah.
And we've been stung on that as well. I shook hands with a player to get him for next year, and then said, right, the deal was done. We tried to get the deal done now for the player. The club said no, they asked for too much, and the player ended up getting cold feet and stayed with the same team.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's no hard feelings about it. It's just it is just football.
So it happens, eh?
So it's trying to balance that we have. But I think the guys that we paid money for, the thing I would say to the club is they've got resale.
Okay.
So I signed Oban Anderson. The money we paid for Oban, if I sold Oban tomorrow, I'd make a profit.
Oh, right. Okay. Interesting. Right.
Nicky Reid we've signed. I think Nicky's about 21-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, good young players that we paid. We've no paid a lot of money for somebody that's aging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's guys that are either in their prime like Bob, or younger players that the club can go, right, well, if we can get you in, if you're here for the next 3 years and then we go and sell you on, which I understand what the level is at. You get young players that will come and do that, eh? And you want people to look and go, we'll go to Musselburgh, work with a young manager, good coaches, and I'll eventually go make a step up.
Aye.
That's fine.
100%, mate.
I mean, that's the same at the top level.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got absolutely. If somebody said that to me, I wouldn't be put off for that at all. But that's absolutely fine.
Aye.
So if you do well for me, I'd like you to get a move.
Yeah, of course, mate. That's the best way to go about it too, as well. That you're gonna attract people that are like, okay, that's good. Like, and it's fine if folk maybe view it as like a stepping stone. It's almost a positive thing for you.
100%.
Like, yeah,
aye,
great. Yeah.
I'm not assigning somebody 21-year-old whose life ambition is to play for Musselburgh.
Aye, exactly.
You know what I mean? They might get to a point in their life where they go, I'm actually really happy at Musselburgh, I'm going to stay. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with boys having ambition. And the young players, we've signed good young players. It's just getting the balance. Yeah. Good young players within good senior boys.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I've come to watch a couple of games. So I've seen a little bit, and I've watched like Hampton and stuff. Obviously, as I said, I know Ali that plays there, but like the what would you say about like the quality or like the level of the football that's played, or is it a bit of a mix?
Far better than people think.
Okay.
Far better than people think. Good players. The biggest things at times is the pitches.
Yeah.
You've got a style of how you probably want to try and do things. Which I'm not saying it's Man City go and pop it from the back, but you want to go and play. And a lot of times you go on pitches. To be honest, our pitch probably included. Our pitch included, and you go, right, it's not going to be easy today. We need to play in their half a bit more. Yeah. And then sometimes you'll get to play a nice big Astro, and you'll go, right, we can be a bit more expansive if you like, but you're changing your style a wee bit depending on what the pitch is like. But again, I think it's the same at the top level.
Of course it is.
You know what I mean? I think if Celtic or Rangers are going to Tynecastle, they'll play a different way than if they're playing Hearts at Hampden.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It is different games, I get that, but especially when it gets to winning that, some of the pitches you play on, it's difficult.
I can imagine.
I'm no one to sign boys that are just physically that just play on those, but I'm saying good players. Yeah. Good players that just need to adapt to the pitches. But that's probably been the biggest thing I would say. That's been the hardest thing. So we've got a good bunch in terms of we don't get stung too much with holidays and that. Boys take it seriously.
Oh yeah, okay,
you understand at this level things come up.
Of course.
Family life and that as well. But we've been looking at it, especially by the pitches, is one that can be difficult.
That makes it more difficult, yeah. No, I agree with that. Like I've watched a couple of games, and sometimes if it's been pish and rain, man, the weather's horrible and the pitch is just muddy as anything, what can you do?
Oh, and you'll still get people going, didn't he pass it much today? And you go, you fucking having a laugh. Come on. Yeah. And then we played on Saturday, Glenroth, this pitch wasn't great. And this, I think Jackson Barker was with the pass, and the ball's balled up beside his hip. Right. And you heard the supporter shouting from behind, and you're like, you have no idea what he's went to play and it's bobbled up, and sometimes you just go, these things happen.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah, I mean, you play cup games sometimes, they've not got linesmen that as well, and it's it's frustrating to say the least.
I can imagine, man. But I totally agree with you. Not obviously to the same level, but even I used to coach the kid teams, and I'd go play some teams, and I mind sometimes if maybe you're not quite as good as the other team. I mean, obviously I would always be the same. Like the first thought process is, can we get the ball down and play? And actually, you know, try and pop it about. But there was some times where I'm like, look, like if we try and do that today, this other team's really well coached to like press us and that at a younger level. So I remember just saying to the kids, like, look, today, like we're just go a bit more direct and be a bit more direct today, and we'd win some games. And obviously it's not about that for the kids, but I used to always say to the parents, like, oh, we're a bit more direct today. I'm like, yeah, but like, is there a lesson out of playing out the back and getting pumped 20-0 today? 100%. I don't really think there is. And it's not that we didn't ever play out the back.
No,
it was just like, just be direct. Like, they're pressing us high. And to me, I remember playing one game, man, where must have scored 3 or 4 goals from a keeper just kind of clipping it and striker being in again at a young age and the coach going mental at me. And I said to him, I was like, you've high pressed me every time we've had a goal kick. I've kicked over your head. You've not changed. Yeah. That's your problem.
Yeah, 100%.
If you then drop off, then we'll play.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's but obviously to the same thing as you, obviously a bit different with the pitch and that, but you do have to adapt to the game.
It's the biggest thing probably coming from pro youth, where I think it can be guilty of being a wee bit false.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Where we had points at Hibs now where you get beat, but you go, right, we had the better players, we played better. It almost feels like a win. That doesn't wash like where I am now. You know what I mean? That doesn't wash at all. It's results. You need to go and win games. You need to go and play to your strengths. If I took another job tomorrow and I had 2 6'6" strikers, I'd play more direct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you need to adapt it. You need to adapt to what you've got. That of course you've got a philosophy of how you think you should be played, but you hear all the time on the courses and that where people go, my team plays this way and that way, and I go, I've fucking seen your team play. I know you did.
Yeah, I've had that,
you're just lying.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with if you're a little bit more direct, just own it.
That's fine.
We are a little bit more direct than what I'd like us to be when the pitches are poor. I'm not gonna shy away from that. I've got Nathan up front who's absolutely rapid. We will put the ball in behind from.
Yeah.
Watch the Liverpool game yesterday. They will put the ball in behind from minutes.
Right, mate. Otherwise, what's the point of mate? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's people just saying the game is they watch Man City now and just think Kevin's just 1 and 2 touch rondos at the pitch. It's no.
Yeah, it's like snobby. It's a snobby way to look at it, really.
Yeah, 100%. Like they won, but they were direct. And so, well, you need to be able to adapt. Yeah. And a lot of time you see maybe a centre half come out of pro youth, Hibs, Celtic, Rangers, whoever. They'll go and loan at Cowdenbeath.
Aye.
Or they'll go and loan at Albion Rovers, and it's like you're not splitting to get the ball here.
Nope.
And you're not pplaying against somebody who's going to drop into pockets. You're playing against somebody who's going to try and bully you.
Absolutely, man.
So you need to go and show that side.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? And you see a lot of boys that probably come out of pro youth that probably can't do that. They go on pitches and there's that snobbery. I remember going to Hibs under 14s, 15s would have been played at Aberdeen away. It was just like a normal grass pitch. I'm like, how can I play on this? I'm like, lads, you've got no idea.
Yeah.
They think anytime they put a metal stud on the pitch, I'm like, you have no idea.
That's hilarious.
I mean, you get spoiled on this big Astro every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's different, eh?
No, it is, man. It is different. Like you say, you've got to be able to adapt, and I think the best coaches and players are able to do that, man. It's not about playing one way. Not at all. Do you find that like I don't know if it probably is, and it's part of the business, don't get me wrong, but do you find there's probably a lot of people that are maybe like quite like egotistical in that way? In terms of like in the coach, I would think as well for you as well, being younger, 28, and you know older people that have been around, maybe played a little bit, and the game has changed. You know, let's be honest, there's probably that like ego side of them that like don't really want to like let anyone in or give praise to someone. Yeah,
no, definitely. You see, and I'm well aware of that. That like I'll get stick for it about like on the side. I don't wear muscle gear, I just wear my own clothes.
Yeah.
And I just started doing that, and I've always done it since I've been a manager.
Yeah.
And like people make a big deal, and I'm like, it's just I'm just wearing my own jacket. It's genuinely, it's not that big a deal. Like I work 7 days a week in a tracksuit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've got clothes that I never get to wear. That is genuinely all it is, and I wear that on a match day. But people, I've had the ASOS shouting that from away supporters now. It's funny now, but people, I remember even interview before the Clyde game, the reporter asked me about it, and I'm like, I don't know what.
Yeah.
There's no deal with it.
Aye. Yeah.
That's generally just comfort.
Aye.
That's genuinely all it is.
I'm with you, man. I know. I remember I used to coaching gear all the time, and if you didn't have to wear that stuff, it was always good. Man.
Yeah, it's just warm in the winter.
Ah, yeah, exactly.
My one jacket's warm in my muscle jacket.
Hey,
that's
man.
all it is.
Nothing wrong with it as well. Wanting to look good as well and feel good when you're doing it too. That's part of it, man. You mentioned the Clyde thing. I wanted to talk about that, like the Scottish Cup stuff. That looked cool. That was decent. How was that, like being on the telly and all that?
It was brilliant.
Yeah,
it really was, and it was actually the whole speech to players and that before is you'll no look back at this and enjoy it unless you win.
Mm.
And I would say that
Yeah.
We done really, really well in the game, and it's only I watched it the next. I was down a bit, really down, never slept that night, and I watched it back the next day, and you've got like McFadden, who's co-commentator, like praising how we're playing during the game. I actually spoke to him after the game, and he's like, he's done brilliant. He's like, he actually said when the pitch doesn't help you, try and play in that. And it was a great experience. Yeah, like really good experience. And you get an interview before the game, after the game, and that as well. Where after the game you've got a mic chucked in front of you and the things you want to say. Yeah. And then I actually done quite well because I can say it now, but the wee boy who scored the winner should have been sent off. Yeah, because a terrible tackle on Toddy. I remember that. Yeah. And I wanted to go on and say the boy who scored the winner should have been sent off, but I thought, right, just didn't. Yeah. That's really what Tom earlier. You can see why at the top level people say something stupid. I know, because you've got a mic chucked in front of me, and it's difficult, but it was a great experience. Like really, really good, and it makes you want to do it again. Aye, I was gonna ask that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there is always that bit where you're like how good could it have been? Aye. You know what I mean? Because I experienced it the year before to a different degree. We played Aberdeen with Edinburgh City, and that was a great experience. But Todry in that, unbelievable, like away dressing room, and actually done alright in the game. Aye. So you had that really good experience, but being live on the telly was good, but it never changed. And the boys actually reacted to it really, really well. Yeah, I thought so. It was unbelievable to actually see all a bank. Like when we walked out, it was almost a wee moment you look and go, there must be about 4 times as many people as what or looked like. Aye. They had it all the way around in that, and playing against a really, really good side. And people are quite to criticise, Clyde, they're not great. Well, they just beat Steny, whatever score it was a couple of weeks ago, who are going to win the league. Yeah. I mean, they've got good players. You know what I mean? The boy Grant and that, I think he scored the one, played in the Scottish Cup final. Yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, they've had boys that played at a right good level. Yeah. So we knew fine well that they're a good side, and it was almost a hard draw for us because people looked at it and go, the bottom of the league. Like, the bottom of the league in League 2, they're in League 1 last year. Aye. Like, we were Musselburgh. When they were in League 1, we were 10th in the division we were in. You know what I mean? So we done really, really well in the game, but just came that wee bit short. But the experience was brilliant. Yeah. Really, really good. I thought it looked like, you said it already, but thought it looked like, for you as well, but and the team as well when I was watching it, I thought it looked like the players were enjoying it, but at the same time recognise the opportunity of, like you said, about, like, it's all well and good to be like, this is class, let's enjoy it, but you're there to win as well. Oh, 100%. And I felt like there was a good balance to that. Yeah, it was. In the group. Yeah. And it's after it, like, the changing room when you go in after the game is just silent. Yeah. And there's, I know straight, like, this isn't, you're not going to go at MD. Aye. You just say, look, I'm no meaning it now, lads, are well done. And then I was alright, and then I remember, you'll know this, I came out of the changing room. Yeah. And my dad's walked past, my missus walked past and that, and you're just thinking, what could have been? It could have been so much better. And you get a bit fucking upset and a bit down, and then somebody goes by, we need to do the media, and but a minute I had to run across the pitch. I was like, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Last thing you want to do. It's literally the last thing I wanted to do, and you're like, right, okay. Yeah. But no, it was good. I mean, you get so many messages on the day and that, and then what actually means the same people message you good luck, message you the next day, say, look, you should be really proud of yourself about how well you've done. So we've done well to get there. Absolutely. We've done really well to get, and there was obviously the penalty save and what have you, the penalties against Gretna in the round before to get there. It was a good money spinner for the club, obviously, being on the telly. Yeah. They've not told me exactly how much they made right now because I think they're scared I'm going to spend it. Absolutely. It was good. No, that was class, man. I did think I was watching your interview at the end too, and it did look like you were disappointed, but which is good because it shows ambition and drive. But you enjoyed it, man. You've got to embrace those moments. No, definitely. Yeah. I say I watched it yesterday. I was off the next day, purposely took a day off, and I watched the full thing back, and I was like, you know what, we're actually even better in the game than I thought. That first half passed the ball really, really well against a good side, played out, showed like really, really good bravery. But I remember at the time, like, such a close game, their subs, they just kept putting boys on. I remember that. I was like, fuck, right. I had a couple of decent boys who had just come back from injury as well. Scully and that came on. You're like, right, they're not getting any weaker, they're getting fresher. You said that in your interview. You know what I mean? They were. Yeah. It was just like continuous, like all the time, like because we got the team sheet before, the amount of subs in that they had. Yeah. Like good quality players. Yeah. So, it was a great experience, but it does exactly. It makes you want to do it again. Yeah, gives you the buzz for it, man. Absolutely. So, I mean, to kind of finish it up, then, I mean, what's the? Not to say that you're not wanting to stay at Musselburgh, but what's the goal in terms of that side of things for you? You wanting to try and push yourself just as far as it? As it goes? As far. Yeah. The way I probably look at it is, it's a free hit in terms of the management stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think if I didn't do the management, I think I could get a job coaching at a reasonable level somewhere, and I've got a business that I love to, if you want, no fall back on if you like, but still do that every day.
Yeah.
So I get my coaching fix from that. It's a free hit. Look, I had a chance in the summer to go somewhere else.
Okay.
Turned it down because it took a lot for the club to go and offer at the time a 26, 27-year-old a job as a manager. Never managed before to go, and especially when in a difficult place. Like I remember when I first went, they went, make sure we stay in the league. I went, look, you'll be fine staying in the league. We'll be fine. I'm like, I know these boys are good players. The boys are just underachieving. Yeah. But yeah, it's want to go as far as I can, but at the same time, see if I'm at Musselburgh in 3 years, I'm absolutely fine with that.
All right, cool, man.
I've got loads of. I mean, one of the good things with staying so young is I've got time on my side.
Yes,
and definitely. I'm at a place where I've got a place where I enjoy it.
Yeah.
My dad and my uncle come to the games pretty much every week. The committee have been brilliant with me. Supporters are good.
Yeah.
I've got a really, really good bunch that everybody says, but I genuinely do, because if boys are here now, I've either chosen to keep them or I've signed them myself.
Yeah.
So every single player I've got, I want to be there. I've got a committee, Kevin Liston, Ewan Hall, that are brilliant with me.
Class.
You know what I mean? So I've got everything that I want. You know what I mean? I think that's all you can ask for. Is you hear all the time people talk about how much control managers get. I've got like a huge control in terms of what I want. So you can't really ask for much more than that.
I'm with you.
All you want is a control. So if it goes wrong, I can't then go, I only went wrong because of this and that. That's not the case.
Yeah.
If it goes right, we all take credit. If it goes wrong, you'll take it on the shoulders. Even things like we're saying, the pitch needs to get better. The committee are backing that and going, right, we'll get something into.
Good.
You've identified that needs to improve. Right, we'll try and do that.
Because that's only going to benefit the club as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've said that from the start. You're no one to be a case of going for a short time, spend the club's money to try and get a move. That's not what I want. We will try and gradually make Musselburgh as good as we can, and it was always going to be difficult to go in the space of a year, go from where we were to go and try and win it. I think people, myself included, because the players we signed got excited at the start of the season, going, right, we signed really, really well, but even the team that I've got now is a lot better than the team I had at the start of the season, the guys I brought in.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, so you're only as good as your signings, but I'm delighted where I am. Like, it's genuine, real enjoyment for it, and I want to get in the Loans League as a manager. That's the next step. I want to be a Loan League manager, but I'd rather do it at Musselburgh.
Yeah, try and get them up there.
I want to try and get them up.
Yeah.
And then I want to enjoy being in the Loan League with them, because they're a big club. Yeah, I mean, I do think that we've actually got a decent record when we play teams in the Loan League.
Yeah.
We've done well, so I think if we got there, but I think we would hold our own. So,
man. Yeah.
And you want to do that, especially now, people look as a negative as Celtic and Rangers and that with the B teams and Hearts, but I think it's actually games you probably want to be a part of.
100% it is, man. Yeah.
I mean, playing against good young players, you want to go and test yourself in Celtic, who I've seen them play, rotate well, and right, how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah. It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. Yeah. So I'm in absolute no rush to go anywhere. I think the last thing I want to do is get a reputation of somebody that just goes from club
bouncing
to club.
about now. You don't want to be that. No.
I wouldn't. I think wherever I went, I wouldn't have any better where I am now.
Yeah, good.
And you get an affiliation to the club.
Yeah.
I mean, as I say, I owe them loyalty, because they took a massive gamble on me at the start. But they could have went, no, we need a safe pair of hands. Somebody that's maybe been a manager for 20 years at this level. And they go, nah, let's go and give it to a young boy who's never managed before.
Fair play.
So I owe them a lot. So I'm absolutely delighted where I am.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Now, good. It sounds like it sounds like a good spot to be in. Probably keep chipping away at it. I think sounds like it kind of everything's working. You're all trying to like benefit each other. It helps you, helps other boys that come in. It's helping the club grow a little bit, get a bit of notoriety, get the name out there. Obviously, move up the league and try and get promoted. That's how it works, man. I always say it with this too. I get to do this. It benefits me, obviously. I tag the studio guys. It benefits them, and then folk like yourself that want to come on. You get a bit of content. You get have a little chat. Like everyone kind of gets something from it.
No, definitely.
It's the best way.
No, it's I'm lucky to be there. I'm lucky at what I do. I mean, my full time job's football.
I know.
And sometimes I have a moan to myself on that because busy and you've got this on that on, but I wouldn't change it. I mean, there's loads of. If I wasn't doing that, if I never when you go back to the start, if I never made that choice to go and be a football coach, I don't know what I'd be doing now.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So I'm very, very lucky that I can live a good life because of football, and just trying to do as well as I can with the management, but also try to grow the business as much as possible. It takes a lot of time between the two, and it can be difficult sometimes to balance the two.
I can imagine, man.
No matter what MD says, you know what I mean? You've got a Saturday before a game. Sometimes you're having to deal with work stuff the morning of a game. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just the life of part-time manager.
That's it, man. You'd rather be doing that, trust me, than an office job. Trust me.
No, that's basically what I'm saying. I'm no moaning about it because I'm lucky. It can be stressful at points, but so is any business. It's like running a football team, running a business at the same time. It can be difficult. Yeah,
it's on you though, right? And that's what makes it good, because if something goes wrong or it's shite or whatever, it's not going well, it's on you. Like you have control, 100%. You have control to like.
And that's probably the biggest thing that we found with the business, that technical edge was just me. So as long as I was doing well in terms of my coaching sessions, we'd get a good name. Now they've got 15, 16 boys doing sessions. Yeah. So these guys need to be at it. Yeah. You know, really, but the similarities are huge. Yeah. Like we spoke about, like dealing with staff and dealing with players. It's just treating people properly.
That's it, man.
You know what I mean? People think that like you need to be this. Of course, there has to be discipline, but this sort of shout and ball that doesn't wash anymore. Nah. Like, of course, sometimes you get angry and animated, and there's sometimes like I went after the games and blown my top a bit, and actually came on the Monday and went, I actually apologise. I was a bit extreme there. Aye. I was actually a couple of times. I was actually being personal in terms of I've had the right go at you. I'm better off no saying much. I've learned to not say much after the game if it's bad, and then you speak about it on Monday when you've actually went. All the games are filmed on it. You can watch it back now. Aye. Sometimes you can say something emotionally and then immediately you say something and you regret it. Yeah. Remember after first defeat, booting the door and walking by with a limp for the next 2 weeks. My missus just called me an idiot, and I'm like, big bruised foot because I kicked the door in anger. You learn to try and calm down a bit, and my assistant's good as well, try to tell me to stop getting booked. Yeah, well, stop getting booked. That's not easy. But you've got to be into it too, man. You've got to show the passion side of it too, and it's finding the balance. And like you say, sometimes you look back the next day and you go, right, overstep the mark, but sometimes it's also needed. It's hard, like you've seen before. You're in there, and at that moment in that 90 minutes, that is the most important thing in the world. That's the only thing you think about. Yeah. Doesn't matter what's going on in life, good or bad, like that is you. Yeah. And then the biggest thing, if people say what's the difference in coaching and management, it's a Saturday night. When you win, I don't even think it gets any higher. It's just a relief. Mm-hmm. Like we won on Saturday, and I wasn't even that happy. I was just relieved. Aye. But when things go bad on a Saturday, it's just like if you've got anything like your worst nightmares, like just see if you've got anything social on that Saturday night, you're like nah, can't be arsed. Nah, you don't want to do anything. Yeah, I can. And my missus is good that way. She understands. She knows like right. She follows the Twitter and she'll be praying more on MD going, right, please Muster win so you can come back in a good mood. Aye. You go and win and it's like, right, dinner's on me, you get beaten. you get beaten, you're like, I'm going to a bed at 8:30. And she's like, oh, okay. But she gets it. Cause it's not easy. No, it's not, man. That's football, man. The emotional roller coaster. It was the same yesterday, Mother's Day, like working out what to do with my mum, and it was like, yeah, we could do something before, but we need to be back before 1, and we can't do something after the game because if Liverpool lose, I'll be in a shit mood. So, that's footy for you, isn't it? It's the same with my enemy. She's like, like holidays and that. Yeah. I mean, she's got family in Australia, so she's going December over Christmas now for about 3 weeks. She's like, you could come for maybe like 2 weeks. I'm like, nah, there's no chance. Can't, yeah. There's no chance. And even like booking holidays and that in the summer, the window's tiny. Because it's different as a coach and as a player. If you miss a week of pre-season at the start, it's not the end of the world. As a player, you can go, Gaff, I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks during pre-season, but I'll do 3 runs a week. You go, right, fine. Sound, yep. As a manager, I mean, some managers are different, but like I need to be there. Yeah. So I'll no miss a game unless it is something like unbelievable. I've never missed a game yet. Yeah. I don't think I probably ever will. Yeah. And it is hard. Like you've got that season finish and pre-season stand, you've got a tiny window. I'm like, right, so when can you go on holiday? I'm like, well, I've got a 3-week window. Yeah. I can go on holiday, and I probably will be on the phone either trying to sign players or solving business problems are going well. Yeah, man, absolutely. You know what I mean? But she's good that way. She understands. A lot of people probably wouldn't, because it is hard. No, you need that, mate. You need someone that understands it, especially. It's sacrifice for both, eh? 100%, man. Yeah, no, you need that. Sacrifice for both, that she knows, like, and the moody Saturday nights. Aye, man. And like you're saying, it's really enjoyable, obviously, and you can't complain. It's football that you're in, but like, man, it's full on, like, and you've got to really, like, you have to really enjoy it. And I found that towards the end of my time when I stopped doing the coaching stuff was honestly the truthful answer was I don't enjoy it as much anymore to continue to put that time and effort in. Yeah. Because I'm not just gonna sit around and half arse it and just like, you need to do it properly. I have to do it properly, and I just was like, I don't
love it that much anymore. I did when I was younger. I don't have it in me, and I respect people like yourself that do it, because it's 7 days a week, 24/7, man.
I'm lucky, and I say it to people. We had a young lad, Reece Hope, who played for us, signed from Penicuik, good lad, good player. But he had to leave during the season because he's got a job opportunity to be a PT. And he's like, the hours are crazy, it's weekends, this and that. I'm like, look, do what you need to do. Like, I could, when I started Technical Edge, I couldn't have been the muscle manager at the same time.
No way.
Way too much going on now. Yeah. Like, we've got a game next Wednesday against Hockey. I can be at the game with the staff covering Technical Edge. There's no way I could have done that at the start.
Nope.
So I'm very, very lucky. It's came at a really, really good time. I can go, right, I can not take a step back from Technical Edge, but I can be there when I can. I can work in the background where I'm not at every single session now, because we've got times at 3 or 4 different places.
Aye, man.
Yeah, I mean, like tonight we've got Fife, we've got Musselburgh, we've got Leith. Wednesday we've got Curry. We've got 3 or 4 different places. Yeah. So it's hard, but I'm lucky with staff that I've got that I can manage to work around that.
Yeah, find the balance.
It's certainly full on between the two, but I'm certainly not moaning about it.
Nah, man, can't be. I think we covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I don't know if there's anything else we've missed that you wanted to talk about or that, or
nah. No, good night. Yeah, I've covered it all.
It's good, man. No, I really enjoyed that. Thanks for doing it. Working, obviously, folk follow the business and that on Instagram. What's the pages and all that for it?
So Facebook, Instagram, just Technical Edge Coaching Academy. I can't remember the underscores and all that. But
yeah.
Technical Edge and all that. It's just continue to try and grow both. So. But now that's all the socials.
Class, man. Sweet, mate. Well, I enjoyed that. That's the first kind of like football one I've done that's not just been sitting talking about games and stuff like that.
I've done that before it started.
Exactly, mate. We got Liverpool chatting out of the way. So, Nally, I appreciate you doing that, man. I think when I seen, obviously I said this at the start, but I'll finish it with this, but came and did the coach with you, and I've seen it and I'd done it for a while, and I thought, oh yeah, you've definitely got something here for yourself. And then when you went and did the Edinburgh City thing and then got the Mussy job, I thought it was a good, from afar I was like, that's a good move for you. I thought it would really suit you as well, and could tell you were probably wanting to get into that, and like we talked about already, there's a difference between the two, but it seems like you're got your head switched on, got business going at 28, obviously doing the coaching stuff, see where it takes you, man. I think it'll work out for you.
It's the same as any, just try to get, if everything's a wee bit better every year. If I look back to even where the business was this time last year, sometimes because you get so ingrained with the day-to-day stuff, you take a step back and go, right, we never had this or that on the go. Hopefully it's the same next year. We'll look back at where we are now and go, right, we've got 3 or 4 things that weren't even off the ground yet. You know what I mean? I'm lucky that I've got guys that can do the day-to-day stuff in terms of the admin and whatnot, and then just you want to try and make it bigger without, it's like we spoke at the start, I could get 10 guys off the street tomorrow, chuck a Technical Edge jack on them, say, right, go and do a session. You make money in it short term, but you just get killed at long term.
Kills the
brand.
Trying
to get bigger without, as soon as the quality drops, you're finished.
Absolutely.
You need to price yourself obviously on that, the bigger you get. So no, all good, thanks very much.
Sweet. No, I enjoyed that, man. It was good.
So, man.
That'll do us, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, that was class, mate.
Oh, that was good.